So I was supposed to be in a plane like this, coasting into Rio de Janeiro. That was the plan. But I never actually got there. But before I tell you why I didn't get there, let's go to the beginning of the video that I intended to shoot, and we'll catch up with how I never left Miami. Normally, when I leave the house and hop in this car, I'm going to the airport to fly a 777 from Dallas. But not today. Today, I'm driving this car to the airport to hop on an Airbus to go fly a 777. Yeah, odd trip. It is a 3-day trip with a deadhead on each end to cover a Miami trip. It's a deadhead to Miami, fly to Rio, fly back to Miami. This is a rocket trip, I'm told. Deadhead back to Miami. In theory, go to the hotel for a couple hours, and then deadhead home. So wait, deadhead to Miami, fly to Rio, short overnight, daytime, fly back to Miami on a red eye, day rest, and then deadhead home back to Dallas. I think I said it right. Anyways, different kind of trip for me. The deadhead leaves in an hour and 14 minutes. I got called 45 minutes ago. No, I got called an hour and 20 minutes ago. Yeah. All right, let's go. All right, so here's my schedule. On the first day, I am heading to Miami, getting there about 6:28. Then I have about 2 hours on the ground. Then at 8:45, we leave to fly to Rio, getting in at 6 in the morning, which is really 4 a.m. Dallas time. Again, that is the most important time for me. Then we're having a day rest, right? And I'll leave that same evening at 11 p.m. and getting into Miami at 6:40 in the morning, day rest, and then they heading back home on the third day, getting home at 10:07 at night. Now you look at the schedule and you think that's kind of crazy. It's a Miami pilot schedule, and they like it. It's called a rocket, where you start late at night on day one and you're home early on day three. For me, it's just different. Got to the DFW airport and I headed over to my deadhead, hopped on board, and nice aisle seat, and we were delayed. We had a minor maintenance issue, and it took about 45 minutes for them to clear it. And then we headed toward Miami. And I'm thinking, well, we'll see how this goes, right? But I had 2 hours plus on the ground. I got to Miami, and once I was in Miami, I went straight over to the airplane, thinking, okay, this could still work, but it wasn't going to work. Once I got on board, I was advised of the first officer who was already on board that we had another maintenance issue on board, and this one was a very minor issue overall, but it was a I can't get into the details, but it was a more of a customer comfort issue that needed to be corrected because it would be very annoying otherwise. So we called maintenance. The captain came on board, let him know about it, and unfortunately, it wasn't going to work out. Uh, Long story short, I timed out. And people are always wondering, well, how do you time out, Darren? Well, I'm going to explain this to you. This has to do with the federal airline regulations. They are very detailed, and I will not be getting into super detailed on this video, but I have flowcharts and tables, and I can even phone a part of my union to help clarify if I'm legal for the trip or not. Um, I'm all the airline keeps track of my legalities, but I want to make sure if I get in a situation, what's going to happen and how long am I good for. So we have tables and charts to reference, but I'm going to begin explaining my reserve day timeline and everything that happened on this day. It's all in Central Time because even though I'm in Miami, it doesn't really matter. It's all about where I'm based at, not where I'm at, as far as how long I can work each day. All right, let's go. Okay, so you can see that the timeline of my events of this day when I timed out. Woke up that morning, normal dad stuff. Woke up, got my kids ready for school. So the morning with my wife at home, and then at 11 a.m. I had to turn my phone on to respond to my airline's attempts to contact me. Right, and they called me about 11:30 for a 2 o'clock report time to fly head to Miami and then fly down to Rio. Originally, I was supposed to get in Rio, I believe, well, around this time. I believe it was like 5 in the morning, or 4 or 5 in the morning the next day, Dallas time. Everything that happens to me is Dallas time based. Even though I'm flying out of Miami, it doesn't matter. I'm a Dallas based pilot. And this is how things can go a little weird sometimes when you start mixing crews from different bases. Small story time. You could be in Portland, Oregon, and flying to Chicago O'Hare. You might have a pilot
from Miami and another pilot from LA. They both had the same overnight last night, walking to the airport at the exact same time, but they have two different duty days because of where they're based. So it gets complicated very quickly. Anyways, got to the airport, got on my deadhead flight, and we had a small mechanical delay. We got to Miami, and I went straight from my deadhead flight straight over to my 777. Walked on board, and the FO was already there. Met him, and he let me know right away, hey, we have a maintenance issue. It's pretty minor, but he let me know that what's going on with the airplane, right? I went outside, did my pre-flight at the outside of the airplane. Then I started making the bunks, thinking, okay, it's minor maintenance issue, not a big deal. Captain arrived, and then we let him know about the maintenance issue, and we're hoping it won't be that big of a deal. Yada yada yada. The mechanics right around 9:30 Miami time, 8:30 my time, let us know we have to get off the airplane so they can do their test. Again, it was a more of a passenger comfort issue. It wasn't a safety issue at all. To make sure the repair they did be fine. Walked off the airplane. I'm thinking, okay, it's 9:30 local, in Miami, 8:30 Dallas. I have to be off the ground by 10:11, 9:11 Dallas time. I don't think it's going to work. Based on our expected taxi out time and our flight plan, right? And on this day, there's a hurricane out in the Caribbean, and we had to fly around, so our actual block time was already longer than the normal block time. So I'm like, all right, it's not going to work. But I have to play it out to its end game. I can't just say, hey, let me go. It's not going to work. So I waited in the terminal, and people are asking me questions, passengers. I'm letting them know it's a minor thing. Hopefully, it won't be that long of a delay. And right around 10 o'clock, I'm like, yeah. 10 o'clock local time, 9 p.m. my time. I know it's weird. I put all the times in Dallas time to keep it easy. I'm like, yeah, it's not going to work. So I preemptively called tracking and let them know, hey, this is First Officer Bird. I'm going to time out here, man. I know it's showing in your computer that we're going to be departing soon. We're not. And he put me on hold, yada, yada, yada. I said, yeah, you are going to time out. Are you willing to extend your duty day? And I looked at the schedule, and I'm thinking now, as of right now, if we were to depart at 10:45 p.m., 11 p.m., and that's optimistic. We haven't even boarded the airplane yet. That would put us into Rio at like 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. Dallas time. It would have been way more than 24 hours since I would have had a good night's rest. I would have slept. I would have had maybe a 2.5 hour break on the airplane. And that wasn't a good idea for me. So I declined, saying I'm not going to be extending my duty day today. He said, "Okay, put you on hold," and it took long. It took a while. It wasn't a quick process for him to put me on hold and have the next step be done, because it's multiple departments he has to contact. But I was released, and then I had to wait and go over to a different department to get a hotel room for the night. Got a hotel room for the night, and they said, you're deadheading, and before let me go, you're deadheading tomorrow on this flight back to Dallas. So I let the captain of the flight know. He was a Miami captain. And said, hey man, I'm not exceeding my duty day. He totally understood. Good luck to you. Nice sitting with you in the flight deck. And I headed outside, and I got lucky that when I exited the terminal, the hotel that they sent me to, that van was right there. Like, if you've ever been to Miami Airport, it's crazy outside, and you can wait a long time for hotels, and that hotel van was right there. Amazing. Went to the hotel, and we'll pick it up here from the debrief.
So this is Rio. It's not Rio. Very unfortunate for multiple people, the passengers and the crew still at the airport. Um, Timed out, and I haven't timed out in a long time. It is not normal to time out. So how did this all happen? Well, I was an 11 a.m. wrap today, and there's these charts and flow charts and words we can use, but basically, I had to be done by 6 a.m. Dallas time, anywhere in the world for a three-pilot operation that was on. And originally, as scheduled, I was supposed to be done at 4 in the morning, which is a long night, right? But it's fine. So I headed to Miami, and of course, my deadhead had a delay in Dallas. It took about a 45-minute delay, but I had 2 hours and 17 minutes on the ground in Miami, so I had plenty of cushion time, right? Landed in Miami, started walking to the gate. It's a long time. Um, Actually, no, it was late. It was delayed by 15 minutes because the plane came in late from Charlotte. I got on board and the FO was already there. So he was already doing the FO work. So I said, cool. I started making the bunks. I did the pre-flight outside, came back inside. He's like, hey, got a maintenance issue. Um, Very minor, but it is what it's, I won't say what it is because of lots of reasons, but a pretty minor issue overall. But unfortunately, the repair took a long time. They had to have us all at the airplane to do the repair. And yada yada. It got delayed till 9:45, which was still fine, and then it got delayed till like 10:55, and that was it. Um, Very unfortunate. But I haven't had to deal with this in a while, so I had to look up in my union flowcharts to see what happens to me. Right, I'm not in my base. I'm a reserve. I knew what happened as line holders, but reserve, I haven't been reserve in a long time. So I had to follow the flow charts and see what my responsibility is and what the company responsibility is. And I waited on hold for half an hour. That was fun. And finally, they said, okay, you're heading home to Dallas tomorrow, 11 o'clock in the morning, and here's your hotel for the night. So here I am. I actually wanted to go to Rio because Rio is not served by my base. So it was something new to go. It was only a 15-hour overnight. I mean, I wasn't really excited for the overnight. It was only 15 hours. I mean, I was supposed to get there at 6 in the morning Rio time and leave that night, same night, right? They call it a rocket here in Miami. But it's a short overnight, in my opinion. But I hope this video will continue with a little bit more insight, or a little more what happens tomorrow.
So the next day, I got up. I went to the airport early to go to the Centurion Lounge. I had a new credit card. It was very meh, to be honest. I'd never go into these airline clubs wearing my uniform. Of course, I put a pullover on because it's just not a good look to be in uniform in a airline club. Some of them have rules against it actually, but I scored a first class seat on my deadhead home. Kind of nice. And all I did for 2 days was deadhead to and from. Paid 10.5 hours of pay or credit anyway. Um, Again, it's very unfortunate. And I do want to go to Rio because Rio is not served by my base. So getting to go to Rio was something different, something special. It wasn't in London, but maybe next time. Again, my name is Darren. I'm a dad. I'm an airline pilot. I'm a husband of a scientist. I make aviation content because I love aviation so much. If you could, I would appreciate your support. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, have a great day. And as always, thank you for stopping by.